Hello there. This is a Frontier Double Eagle. This was made by Imperial, which later became Schrade. This is a medium India. Sorry, I got interrupted and had to stop for a minute. But just in that short amount of time that I sharpened, I have a burr on this side of this knife from the heel to the tip of the knife. It was very fast. Now this is a medium India stone, about 240 grit. But the technique that I used is different from what I normally have taught here on this channel. And I stopped doing videos or sharpening videos rather, knife sharpening videos, because I did not know if I had anything new to teach. But I believe that I do. The technique you just saw, I don't know what it's called in the knife world. It is similar to what we call half strokes in the razor honing community. It's a very aggressive and a fairly quick way to sharpen, and I purposely did not show it to you because I was coming from the idea that people were beginners, and I wanted you to go really, really slow. I wanted you to take your time, and I wanted you to learn how to find and hold that bevel angle on your knife throughout the stroke, and concentrate on creating a burr on either side so that you would have really good success anytime you wanted to sharpen. You could take those techniques that I taught you and use them the rest of your life. There are people that's all they use. A lot of people would call it a beginner technique. There's no such bird. Okay, it's what works for you. But I want to show you this technique, and I'm probably going to show you circles as well at some point. Different ways to hone or to sharpen a knife. So what I did is I laid the blade here, and I found that angle. Now, a lot of people will use both hands. I did that for the camera. I did one-handed for the camera. But you find that bevel angle, and you're doing the same thing. You're pulling it along the stone, and you're lifting it up around that curve. But you're also honing on the back stroke. You just alright. So now, when you reverse it, and I'm going to go slow so you understand what I'm doing. And you can go slow. This is a more aggressive technique. You want to use, and I have, a burr on this side all the way. Okay, so I created a burr on this side. Now I've created a burr on this side, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do this single laps. Just I'm doing these with no pressure, just enough to keep the edge on the stone. Because I want to worry that burr off of the knife. As a matter of fact, I had people asking me why I didn't use, see now that burr is still on this side. It doesn't want to come loose. Give it one more shot. And the burr's gone. And the knife is shaving. So we have a shaving edge, as in shaving hairs, not a shave ready as in a straight razor. There is a difference. I know knife makers or knife sharpeners don't understand that. But the sharpness of a straight razor compared to the sharpness of a knife is worlds different. And that is the truth, whether or not you want to believe it or not. I have long since ceased to argue with people that don't do something but decide that they know how that something works. So we're going to clean this off. And we're going to go to we're going to go to a fine India now. These are both Nortons. That's a fairly old Norton. I don't know for sure how old, but it was someone's grandfather or father or somebody like that from the flea market. He was elderly and he passed, and they sold the stone at the flea market, and I picked it up for a little bit of nothing. Actually, I think I paid $1 for that stone, if I'm not mistaken, or $2. But I didn't know what it was. It was black as coal from motor oil. That's how I know it was an older fella. Also, because I talked to the person that was selling it. We're going to go back to this technique. I'm going to raise the burr again. Just so that you see, and I have the burr. So we're going to go, just so you see this technique. This technique will take getting used to, because you're moving back and forward and you're trying to keep that angle consistent in both directions. But the foundation that you laid, if you are one of my viewers that learned to sharpen with me, the foundation that you laid in my earlier videos has prepared you for that. That's the reason. Okay, so that another thing about this method is that the burr tends to be more aggressive and doesn't want to turn over as easy. And so I'm gonna play with it a bit. Yeah. Oh yeah. Gorgeous. Just checking for a remnant of a burr. And I do have a little bit of a remnant of one right there. Sometimes you have to be a little bit more aggressive with the burr removal. Flipping back and forth won't always get it. You'll have to worry one side of it and let it flip over, and then worry the other side of it. Let it flip over. Yeah. Beautiful. All right, what I'm going to do now, I have a sharp edge, but I'm going to go with the single strokes for 10 or 15 passes with no pressure on the stone. And you are allowed to see me use either the older technique that I've used, or this technique I just showed you, or a combination. That's gorgeous. I don't know if you can hear that, but I can hear it cutting like crazy. I love it. And if you wanted to pump that up just a little bit, stand by. You can always go to a pasted strap. And that right there, both of these stones, the reason I use these two stones, lovely, much smoother now, very sharp. Alright, the reason that I used these two stones and a pasted strap is because you might not have either access to something like the Arkansas stones I use or other higher grit or higher polished stones. You might live in a country where you can't get those. But these right here, you could probably get these almost anywhere. India stones, they're silicon, or I'm sorry, they're aluminum oxide, but these are oil stones. You can get a lot of cheap aluminum oxide water stones, but the difference is going to be in the density and the weight of the stones. But I'm pretty sure you could probably find the Northern Indias or some type of India stone almost anywhere in the world. It's a very old technology, just like the Arkansas stones are a very old school kind of sharpening, but they're quintessentially American. And you could take a medium and a fine. As a matter of fact, you could just have a fine. And you could sharpen all your knives with just that for the rest of your life. They work well. And add in a pasted strap with chromium oxide paste on it, or whatever kind of paste that you can get in your area. There are going to be knife sharpeners that are going to know, what's available. You're going to, if you're in the knife community around you, somebody's going to understand what this is and what your local people use. Okay. But a medium, a medium India, a fine India, and a pasted strap, that's a screaming edge. And it's cheap. Especially if you do like me and find one for a couple of dollars at a flea market, or I think the English call it the boot sale, just a yard sale, garage sale, that kind of deal. It's worth thinking about. I could be happy with just these two stones. Now, I understand I got others, and I love the others, and so I'm going to want to use the others because I enjoy it. But for a basic honing or sharpening kit, that right there will beat the socks off of almost anything that's, they won't come near the price this is as far as budget-wise. It's not going to happen. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'll talk to you later.